Hey everyone, welcome back to Pobby and Alls. Hope we're all doing really well. If you are new around here, please drop a like, please drop a subscribe. It does really help the channel out. It means the world to me. So please, if you can do that, that helps. We've just hit over 2,300, so thank you to everyone who has been part of the channel and joined the journey. You can go a step further and help the channel out financially. There is no obligation. Link is in the description. We sponsored Domaku. We've just secured Shangor as well, the legend that is from AFLW Rap. Lovely girl, captain of the Preston Bull Ants. So we're a good community. Get involved. And if you are returning Pominoza, you're right, how you doing? I hope you're all doing really well. So we're going to talk about the VFL wrap now. They had a very disappointing loss the weekend, and really this can be encompassed in one phrase, really, and that is calmness under pressure. These boys threw away a game in an unlosable point, and we're going to touch on it individually, but for me, what really disappointed me is they got themselves in a winning position. They worked the conditions exceptionally for 3 quarters, and in the 4th quarter, they imploded in a spectacular way. And it's all about controlled aggression, and unfortunately, our senior players particularly didn't. And it's bad when our VFL listed players are the ones that are standing up and fighting. You want the AFL guys, and this was the first time they've been really tested apart from their defeat, and it showed. These guys really threw the game away, and it wasn't Frankston winning it. They just did what teams do when they're behind, and that was give it a go. We folded very quickly, and that is something that, if I'm Vossi, I'm looking at some of these senior blokes and saying, do I want you guys in the senior team to risk that? So let's get into the individual performances, have a look and see if we can paint a picture. So the first guy we're going to look at is the legend that is Paddy Dow, and he looked really strong this game in spurts. I did like his game. I thought, like a lot of them though, in the 4th quarter, we kind of saw where he kind of went and the impact that we expect from Dow. He kind of really dropped down. A lot of touches though, the game is getting there for him for me. It's getting where I expect it to be. I'd like to see him impact though in the 4th. In the 4th, he really did, along with a few other players, really go missing, I thought. The intent was there though at the first half. Second half, it did die down. A lot of these touches were the first half. What I want to see from Dow is I enjoyed the tackling game, and he's really developed that defensive side of the game. The issue for me when I watch Dow play is he's kind of impactful in spurts, and I'd love to see him get just a little bit more effort, a little bit more there. All in all, he linked up nicely. He showed some signs. He got himself really good. His breakaway from the contest is really apparent. However, like I say, when the chips were down and they came hard, this guy went into his shell, big style. And around the stoppages, he was strong. But for me, needs to tidy that disposal up. It really did start to be a very rushed disposal, particularly in the second half. And there's an issue. Really liked Motlop's game. Really was enjoyable to watch. I enjoyed what he brought this game. And the thing about Motlop that I'm enjoying is this, getting him on the wing. Now, he played a lot higher up. It was a very similar game to to Jack Martin, what he did. And the tackle numbers show it. He played a lot higher up there. You've got to remember, as a junior, he did slot in the wing quite a bit as well as being a pocket. And he's really found his niche. And one thing that is a big string to his bow, I think, is his ability to get in situations like in the 4th, which he really did look to be a conduit. And like Jack Martin, I think a big string to his bow is his ability to go on the ball. He went on the ball in the 3rd when we started to really take the game to them, and you saw the devastation in his legs. He's got real good running power, real crafty. I think he'd be a smoky this weekend, to be honest, to play over Jack Martin, because this high half forward role suits him to a T. He's got that deadly little charisma about him. He's got that ability to really look, to get amongst it, to look a little bit dangerous. He's a creative player. I'd like to see him hit the scoreboard, but you've got to remember Jack Martin doesn't when he plays this role. This isn't really the traditional role for Jesse. This is more like the hors d'oeuvres almost. This is like the extras, the side orders, the condiments. And I enjoyed his game. I really did enjoy his game. So for me, he would be a guy that's probably put his hand up. Along with this fella here, Lockie Fogarty. Now, he played a lot more on the ball, as you can see. He did play, though, that interim high half forward role. A lot of tackle numbers inside 50. He's real tenacious. He's your safe bet for a replacement. And what Lockie does is he impresses me. The problem is he impresses me because he's playing on the ball for the VFL side. In the AFL, I don't think there's a place for him. However, that rotation does come into it and it gives Vossi options. Do I think he's good enough? In AFL level, that's probably my question mark. I did really enjoy, though, what he brought this week. I really did enjoy the zip about him, his intensity, his ball use. He was one of the few I felt in the fourth quarter did stand out for me. He was always actively trying to put the pressure on. I felt the rest of the boys really kind of got lost in the battle and lost in the moment. But Fogg showed his mettle. He'd be the safe pick for Jack Martin. I'd like him to go Jesse Motlop though, but Foggs keeps bringing it. Brody Kemp, really enjoyed this guy's game, really did. Down the back, probably where he should have started this year, before obviously injuries did. He did swing a little bit forward towards the middle of the second, which I enjoyed. He gets himself in them high positions. He's definitely someone, along with Marchbank, who are really knocking on the door. And we'll come to Marchbank soon, who really impressed me. But what Brody Kemp brings you is that ability to take the game on. He took the game on a lot down the back. I was really impressed with his use. I love the way he looks to bring players in as well. One thing I have noticed about him is he kind of gets lost in that intercept. There was a few times that he did misread the ball, which at AFL level is going to sting us, particularly on transition. However, as an attacking defensive threat, this guy is as good as anyone. And the fact that he takes the game on and he's got a kick, he's there or thereabouts. I do think that this swing role needs to be developed though, because I like where he's at the forward. And I think, as usual with Carlton, when we make a decision to put him down the back, I think with Martin being out for 2 to 3 weeks, this guy was a shoo-in to play that role, but he hasn't played it for 2 weeks. Whether the club run a risk, they did play him in spurts there. I like that ability. But it was a good game, good solid ground, and he looked strong down the back. Caleb Marchbank, what can I say? Played 3 quarters. When he went, you saw what happened. Carlton folded real quickly in the middle of the park, particularly on transition. And this guy was dangerous down the back, really changing defence into attack in a blink of an eye, really. I loved Marchbank's game. His read on the ball, impeccable. His ball use, impeccable. His ability to cut traffic and be reliable. But his marking stood out. And people talk about how much we miss Mitch McGovern. This guy, after one game, is 2,000 leagues above where Mitch McGovern is for me. Absolute stellar work rate from him. He was brilliant all game. And it was a shame he went off. He's definitely 2 to 3 weeks away fitness-wise. But performance-wise, boy oh boy, what a player. We've missed him. He's a shoo-in for the 22 based on that performance just alone. Shoo-in. Particularly, it's interesting as well, 3 of them intercept marks were where the wind was at its toughest. And he was the only one. And it's interesting, if you go back and watch that game, when we had the wind against us, defenders were struggling. We took advantage of it. He was impeccable. His reading, boy oh boy, he's something special. Something special. This guy's going to come under some criticism this week. I've been a big fan of Willow, and I've really enjoyed what I've been seeing, and I've really enjoyed what I've seen the last couple of weeks. This week he played a lot more in that half-back position, and particularly in the fourth, when you're looking for your wings, this guy just disappeared. And the fourth quarter was lost by the wings. Setterfield and Williamson should cop a little bit. Dow will cop a bit. It was definitely the senior AFL players that let them down big style. And Williamson will be one that will kick himself if you watch that fourth. He offered nothing. He just kind of got lost in the moment. And there's moments, though, that you watch in the first half, he was really strong, looking to overlap, and you're thinking, you know what, mate, there's a chance, and it's just not quite there. And these are the games that the VFL side have been downhill skiing, really. They've been dominant in every game. It's a worry that in that fourth quarter, a lot of these guys we've been looking at with intrigue went missing, and it did disappoint me. Willow should try harder. Sandfield, he's one who will come thereabouts. I'm still trying to work out what his best position is, though, for me. Again, he kind of slots in here, there, and everywhere. The pace is one thing. I do like the fact that he goes down back, though, and he adds that extra rotation. He's often down the back looking for that exit and be that outlet ball. He works both ends of the ground well. I like it. He took his goal. He's very smart. I'd like to see him play more in that forward part of the ground, though. Watching him, I think that he is someone that could play high half forward, maybe the pocket. He's got a real crafty sense when the ball hits the deck. Very like Tuck Miller, and he's very direct. Very direct. He makes beelines for the ball. It was a really solid game from Phil. I want to see a bit more from him. I want to see him. I feel like he needs a 22, 23 touch game for me to stand out. But all in all, okay. My boy Dom, we know I love Dom. Very impressed with Dom again. He's building nicely, using his body well now. Starting to get that handball away. The kicking's starting to sharpen up. Started to take some kickings this week, which made me giggle. I'll see him in 2 weeks. I can't wait to see the boy in 2 weeks at the function. Hopefully I get to see you all down there. But he's building nicely. It's slowly building, and I want to see him take a few more intercept marks now. He's getting in the right position, and he goes to spoil, and when he spoils it, it stays spoiled. But I want to see just him peel off a little bit and back himself in. It's going to be a work in progress. He's still a long way away, but the signs are good for my boy. Setters, I watched this game, and it was AFL Setterfield. What are you? I don't know, and I want to like Setterfield, but it's not there. It's not there, and he's kind of like now a jack of all trades, master of none, and it's a concern. And he was very sloppy in the fourth. He went missing, and this is the kind of guy that's played a lot of AFL games, been in around the senior team. I want to see him. I want to see him be at his best, and it wasn't there. It wasn't there for me. It was kind of, it left me wanting more, but at the same time, it was kind of like Night at the Museum. It sounds good on paper, but in reality, you're like, how the hell does he have a fucking role? And that's how I felt, and I feel harsh because I like Setters, but it's just, everything he does is just a short handball into trouble, and it's a panic. And I look at his body size, and I look at like Kennedy, and I look at Cripps, who similar mould type players. He's well away, and on the wing he's lost. He doesn't look for them meters gained. He looks to cut back inside. It's almost like when the ball is in his hands on the wing, the game slows down. And yeah, I need to see a lot more from him. Murraykoff, for 54 hit-outs, I reckon 24 of his clearance, 24 of the times he did that, it went straight down the throat of a Frankston guy, particularly in the fourth. You saw how away he is from the AFL. TDK this week, when it was under pressure, fought hard. And what I like about Murraykoff is when he stands his ground and stuff, he looks really good, but I feel like he drifts in and out of the game way too much. I like the moments that in the second where he went behind the ball, that was really exciting me. But he kind of got lost in traffic in the fourth, and I felt like in the fourth, that game needed someone to stand tall, particularly a Setterfield, a Williamson or a Murraykoff, who are in that middle of the area, and they're going to say, you know what, I'm the outlet ball. And I didn't see that from him this week, and it showed me just how far away he is in the terms of that there's some talent there, and he will play AFL football, and I reckon he'll play a good 50, 100 games for Carlton. Still just a bit to go. All in all, though, I want to see a bit more from him. So that's the wrap then. Let me know who stood out for you, what you thought, what your ins and outs are. As always, it's a pleasure watching me. Thank you for 2,300. We've finally done it. You can subscribe and become a member. Link is in the description. And until Friday, I'll see you then. Palm out.